Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between Rail and Innovation here on Year Zero, the latter edition from WESG 2018-19. Top right-hand corner, the Red Terran player Innovation saying GGGL. And in the top left-hand corner, the Blue Protoss player Rail. Rail is a Protoss player, obviously from Russia. Pretty darn excellent Protoss player as well. And Innovation, you know him. He's Korean. He is probably the top 3 Terran player on Earth right now. Mara won GSL, but I don't know. Innovation's been pretty consistent in 2019, so maybe the top spot belongs to him. Debate in the comments. 1 Rax, expand. Here from Innovation. 1 Gate, expand from Rail. Wait a second. Just blocking off the Reaper hop-up spot here, but this is a spot a Reaper can hop up. This is a spot a Reaper can hop up, so I'm not entirely sure why your gateway is there, Rail, but hopefully you can prove to me why it is there, or convince me why you put it there. Alright, man. Pulling 2 workers off of gas so you can get the requisite minerals to throw down a Nexus at 400 minerals, and Rail, you are very good because, boom, 400 minerals, a Nexus. And Innovation is, whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, so he went for, wow. Barracks down, immediate Reaper into Orbital Command, and then into Expansion here. So he's a little bit late compared to what Rail is going for here. I kind of like this for Rail, honestly. Sure, a Reaper's going to come out, but the Cyber Core is on the way, about halfway complete. There should be an Adept or a Stalker out fairly soon here, too. Reaper is fast, but this is a pretty big map. That said, the rush distance for Reapers is not that long, as they can hop down and stuff. We'll see. Either way, this Reaper's name is Silver Age Superman. Today we think of Superman as the guardian of truth, justice, and the American way. However, during the Silver Age of comics, Superman did such horrific acts as denying Jimmy Olsen and Aquaman a drink of water in a desert, dueling Batman with revolvers, and declaring himself the king of the world. For these acts and many other instances of super dickery, Silver Age Superman was stuffed into a kryptonite-lined Reaper suit. Look, Adept already coming out here. I'm loving it. I'm liking this out of Rail quite a bit. What are these probes doing? Why are there probes here? Go to work, probes! You're not allowed to hang out. Yes, come down here and mine from the natural. That's fine. Adept moving on out, hanging at the top of the ramp here in case the Reaper comes up. The first shot belongs to the Adept, and the second shot, and then hopefully the third shot. And the Reaper will go down. But so far, so good. I think Rail has a more economic opening here. Chronoboost is really good. Does have a Stargate opening as well. Silver Age Superman escaping from the Adept shade, but doesn't really go anywhere with that either. And it's a Phoenix opening from Rail here. So I can't imagine it's going to be mass Phoenix, as that's more of a PvZ strategy, but we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be. Just rather it's just for scouting here in the early stages. I mean, honestly, if I was playing Innovation, I'd want to scout the crap out of him. And Silver Age Superman, oh gosh, killed by both Adepts. That is some pretty good stuff from Rail. He is holding his own here. If I had to judge the first 3.5 minutes, I'd say Rail's winning. He's got more workers. His army supply is bigger. He's actually killed something. And so far, I mean, what are we doing? Cyclones. I love a Cyclone opening here out of Innovation. He's got a Starport too. There's going to be a Cyclone drop. That'd be really interesting stuff. And Phoenix. Okay, we're going for more Phoenix, guys. This is actually going to be a 3rd Phoenix in production. Another Stargate. Nope. That's a gateway. So a 1 Stargate play here with the Phoenix out of Rail. Meanwhile, that is a Viking. So 1 Viking and a Cyclone. So Cyclone is here to make sure any Oracle that comes in does not escape. Maybe catch some Phoenix if they come over here too. Marine checking. Is there a quick 3rd? Is Rail going that greedy today? Absolutely not. Rail is hitting on 2 bases for a little bit anyway. Starting to tech up to all sorts of beautiful, beautiful tech, including a robotics facility. And just more Phoenix, man. This Phoenix ball is getting bigger than I expected it to. He's going to have 5 here very, very shortly. This poor Viking is going to die. There's really no saving it, I don't think. It is slower than Phoenix. It doesn't do any bonus damage versus Phoenix. The good news is he's probably going to scout the Phoenix and die in the process. So at the very least, he'll provide some information that Innovation needs. Ta-da! Surprise! Phoenix are on the way, and this Cyclone's like, oh, hang on, I can get lifted. I don't know if I have enough to deal with this. The Marines are coming on up. So this many Marines is enough to chase the Phoenix away. Good positioning for sure. Marine trying to shut down that third base location. A Death Wander's in and he goes, wop. 3 shots. And again, see, Marine count, Cyclone count. 1 Phoenix does end up going down. And SCV dies in revenge. It's just one big revenge ball right now, right? That first Reaper died. Okay, fine. Get revenge on the Viking there too. Revenge on one of the Phoenix. Although, it doesn't really make any sense because the revenge here has definitely been on Rail's side. He's looking good. You can actually get out of range of lock-on because Phoenix are so darn fast. They are kind of wrecking the economy of innovation a little bit here. Gonna lose 1 more Phoenix in the process. But I think that's a fair trade for 7 SCVs. Resources lost here. 725 for innovation, 500 for Rail. Worker count 46 to 39, and Rail has a third base 50% complete. So I know Protoss is a little bit favored in this matchup, but you'd think that Innovation, he's probably the better player here, but that's why StarCraft2 is great. Anybody can win any game when you're at this level. I don't care who you are. I don't care what country you represent. I don't care where you were born. Anybody can beat anybody. Extended Thermal Lance on the way. Colossus in production for Rail 2. Innovation's answer to this Marine tank. Man, Colossus are pretty darn good against a lot of Marines. If the tank count gets high enough, it's a little bit more worrisome for the Protoss, but tank count, we're not like double pumping tanks or anything here. This isn't a mechs play. This is definitely a Marine-heavy style play. Marines to deal with the Phoenix, and then Rail's responding perfectly by going for Colossus as the follow-up. I'm liking it. I'm liking what we're seeing here from the Protoss player. Sorry about that. Sometimes my screen moves. I don't really want it to. How many Phoenix have gone down? 2? Only 2. That's pretty worth it, man. And 12 SCVs, 57 to 44. Income is favoring Rail, and at this stage of the game, it's really impressive to be able to have more income than a Terran player, considering they have the mules, and there are 4 tossed down right now. But Rail, even with the mules that Innovation is benefiting from now, still has just the higher worker count, 3 bases, fully saturated on minerals at least, and gas at his first 2. And extended thermal lance. So the Phoenix are making sure that Innovation can't really move out without being scouted at the very least. Single Marine wanders in, and what is the Marine going to see? Is the Marine going to scout these Colossus is the question. Yep, absolutely. Colossus walks right over this dude. He survives. This is the luckiest scout. Innovation comes on in, sees everything that is coming up here. Double Forge. Finally, a Zealot wanders in and says, hey, get out of our house, man. What are you doing here? Rail's throwing up a 4th base now before Innovation has a 3rd. Rail's looking so good right now. His APM's over 500. I'm super, super impressed with this guy at this moment, you guys. I really, really am. It's going for Charge. Charge is such an important upgrade in PvT. If you're not getting Charge versus Terran players, you need to re-examine your life and make charge lots, okay? Just do it. Charge lots are so hard for Terra to deal with. They're fast, they hit you real hard, they are so hard to kill with so much armor. Good unit versus all of these Marines too. So tank count is now 4. Recognizing the Colossus are out, we're still making tanks where I feel like normally Innovation would have stopped after a couple of them against a more traditional composition, right? But Phoenix, oh, that's a tank if you want it, but pulling back Innovation very smartly, recognizing the threat that is this Protoss kind of death ball. That's a lot of Phoenix, you guys. How many Phoenix are there? 8 Phoenix, man. 8 Phoenix, but his army's down here too. It's 90 to 78 army supply, so Innovation has the lead, but I just feel like the composition is better. Out of Rail, he's making Zealots. Charge is all... Is it done? Did it just complete? It sure did. It just completed. Marines still running out to see what's going on. Innovation has landed his 3rd base. He's going to saturate that, but the 4th base back to Rail is done. He is keeping up so far on economy. It started with that quick nexus that he was able to hold on to, and it's working overall here for Rail. I don't know what else to say other than I think our Protoss player is ahead right now. Marines still scouting stuff out, still getting murdered. They're on suicide missions. They're aware. They're aware of what they're signing up for. So it is 73 workers. I think Rail might be pretty much close to being done with probes, and in fact he is, as he's not making any more. Warp Prism +2/+2 coming in for all of his ground units. And handful of Marines getting charged at. Do we have enough room in the medevacs to save these guys? Don't run into the tanks, though. Don't run into the tanks. There you go. Just get out, killing as many Marauders and Marines as you can, and then retreating. Resources lost, 1,800 to 1,800, or 800 rather. Innovation has lost 1,000 more resources than Rail has. Army supply 110 to 91. Protoss has the lead now, working on a Templar Archives, working on a Blink, because why not at this stage? Getting everything that he can economically. He's up 193 to 67. Look at the supply, you guys. Scantipede scouting out Rail's third base. Phoenix pretty much make it. I think they're hanging out by Amon here. They are pretty much make it so that drops aren't going to survive. This is what these Marines are. We would be sending like Vikings around to scout stuff, I guess. Rail has pretty much gotten away with a little bit of static defense, as there is a cannon at the third base and a shield battery at the fourth. But man, he's maxed out. He is maxed out with a bigger army than Innovations is. If he can keep Innovation from getting a fourth, which is, again, not an easy thing to do here. In fact, an incredibly hard thing to do, but attacking on in, poking on into this third base a little bit. Tanks are set up in a wonderful position, though. They can cover the front door to their natural and cover most of the third just with the... Look at the range on these tanks, you guys. It's fantastic. Rail says, I guess I'll expand again then. 5 bases are better than 4 fusion core coming in. That's gotta be for extended range on that Defender Mode Circle. Advanced ballistics for the Liberators. Liberator is going to be a big play for Innovation. And see, here's the problem. We talk about this a lot. If you get maxed out and you're not able to kill anything, right? Zealots wandering in and actually friendly splash damage problematic for some of these SCVs too. 5 go down in exchange for a couple Zealots. I think that's a fair trade, again, for Rail. But see how you're maxed out and then your opponent isn't maxed out. You have an advantage, but you can't get further than maxed out. So they're allowed to be caught up. And over time, your advantage disappears into the ether. And suddenly you're dealing with a maxed out Innovation instead of an Innovation you have a 30 supply lead on. It's not great, is what I'm trying to say. 3 command centers at once being produced, though. Innovation wants to expand a whole bunch of times, and I'm not sure when. When necessarily, because again, Rail just has 5 bases that he's happily sitting on. Innovation has not been able to move out at all in 11 minutes, which is nuts, mind you, which is absolutely insane. +3 attack now coming in for Rail, +3 armor, working on some Tempest to deal with these Liberators, and Innovation is taking a 4th. In a much, much more timely fashion than he took his 3rd, I can tell you that much. Adept down here trying to make sure that no counterattacks cause him problems. At his 5th base in the bottom left, Phoenix flying around, some free SCVs because why not? And a Marine, and another SCV in exchange for a Phoenix. Oh, but hang on, tacking on down this way. Maybe trying to take down a refinery, but no. The response from Innovation is way, way, way too good. And Rail is forced to pull back. So Rail just doing all the things you're supposed to do. Protoss versus Terran here as the Phoenix fly in and get murdered by these Marines, who, in fact, do have 2-1. And working on 3-2, +2 armor is almost complete for those guys. Infantry armor, I believe is what it's called. Rail really hates rocks. It's going to kill these rocks. Oh, accidentally killed one of his Zealots. Is he clearing off supply? He's got to be, because he's maxed out. He can't have the exact composition that he wants, but I mean, send suicide units in, man. Either way, I mean, Rail should feel pretty good at how Innovation has been absolutely blocked in here. He's been contained really hard. But Tank Liberators, honestly kind of insane, you guys. Look at this. Look at the range on these Liberator circles. Great storm there, though, hurting that bio quite nicely. And a Tempest goes down. I know, or Tempest, a Liberator goes down. Tempests are hitting it. I just feel like, oh, goodbye, Cyclone. No, Tempest does get picked off there, though. Liberator down. I like Tempest versus Liberator for the range, but their rate of fire is so slow. Look at this. Boom. And boom, boom, boom. Innovation sneaking a small bioforce down here in the bottom section of the map. Innovation takes a 5th base. Bottom right-hand corner. So he's got his 4th up, happily running. He's got his 5th now, too. He's on the same number of bases as Rail is. This is just going to come down to micro and who can make good trades and who can kill the other bases. And I'm not convinced that anybody's really capable of killing anybody's bases right now, with the exception of these guys, who are sneaking down towards this bottom left where Rail has his 5th base. Cannon with shield battery trying to survive. Not going to work out, man. Tempest fighting army heading down to the south a little bit. They're going to try to take down this base if they can. We're going to trade Remember how I said nobody can kill a base? It might very well turn out. Okay, Innovation can kill a base, no question. Oh, free Tempest. That was not good control. As the Nexus forcing a recall of a handful of units here. Zealots and Stalkers, not the whole thing. He didn't recall a huge portion of his army, but just a few to chase those guys away, and that was enough, especially because they don't have medevac support. They're going to go ahead and stim their way home. So like I said, this is maxed out army versus maxed out army here on year 0. The Liberator count is actually kind of insane right now, as there's another Liberator here that does get taken down. Colossus versus this Bio, getting some nice swipes off there. They have the 3-3, you guys. Infantry weapon level 3 wrapping up now too. Thank you, Game Heart, for the information there. But I feel like Rail maybe should expand again right now. What else does he, I mean, what does he have to lose, I guess? What does he have to lose? I don't rightly know. Vikings trying to pick off Tempest as best they can. They do get one of them, man. That's a pretty good trade. You can lose a couple Vikings for a Tempest. It'd be just fine. Viking count, a little bit nuts here for Innovation too. Armor level 3 coming in for Innovation right now. Air weapons level 2 is done. So that's great. So we're 3-3 Bio versus +2 air weapons for the Terran player, and 3-3 on the ground here for the Protoss, in addition to +2 air weapons and +2 shields, or +1 shields rather, which benefits everybody. So it's a very patient PvT, you guys. Nobody just moving in here. Rail especially doesn't want to do that with a number of Liberators on the ground. And by on the ground, I mean they're in the sky, but they're setting up circles of death on the ground. All right, that's a couple of free Liberators, but anti-armor missile goes down, reducing the armor on those Protoss units. And Innovation is now going to take a base lead here. Rail just hasn't really been all that interested in expanding for the last few minutes here. And everywhere the Liberator's set up, Rail has to get out or he's going to lose stuff on the ground. The damage output is insane on these things. A lot of ghosts in here for Innovation too, probably for EMPs, if I had to guess. Innovation is not actually completing construction on this command center. He is bringing some SCVs in right now, and Planetary Fortress cannot hold against the Protoss forces unless Innovation shows up with his forces to defend it, and he is. He has really, really good map awareness as to exactly where Rail is at all times. You'll notice he's not really pushing out with everything he has either. He's interested in holding off the Protoss and sending little Marine Marauder forces over to kill bases if they can. Scouting out, is there anything here? No. And the Vikings do finish off one of the Colossus. I don't know if we're going to be replacing the Colossus, you guys. Disruptors are in production now for Rail. +3 air weapons on the way for Innovation too. These guys are like, we were sent to kill a base and there's not one here. We are confused. What are we going to do with our lives? And I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. Maybe go find something else. It's a whiff of a storm right there, but a big storm on those ghosts would be pretty much worth its weight in gold. If you can get it off. EMP is tossed down. Storm, there we go. Pretty good storm on this Bio. Colossus doing some work, guys. Already has 3 kills. Man, that Marauder is allowed to actually kill a High Templar. Oh, that was not good control by Rail there either. So Rail a little bit falling apart. He had a big lead. He did. But Innovation just doing Innovation things, out-expanding the Protoss, making great trades. Rail has now lost 4,000 more resources than Innovation has. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Making good trades. When you're maxed out like this, you want to make sure you make the best trades you possibly can. Probe going for a 6th base gets picked off by these Marines and Marauders, who are not going to escape with their lives, but they did kill a probe, and I guess that's totally fine. Why are you heading this way? There are cannons this way. You know that. I guess maybe not going to the cannons necessarily. That's one way. Oh, hang on. No, there's still a guy. The Zealots are part of this army, and as a result, they're getting pulled away from finishing off this Marauder, which is hilarious. Now, this Marauder can actually maybe do some damage on this base, but no, he turns away too. I don't know what his commands are exactly. Where is he going? He's going to die to a cannon. Is what he's... Nope, never mind. He was given command to go down there, so that's what he's doing. Every time Rail goes in, there is an EMP that is getting tossed down here. Tampa's doing some work, but every time they hang out too long, the Vikings finish 1 or 2 of them off. Tampa's count not healthy right now. 193 to 198 supply. What just a back and forth slugfest this has been. Both players just playing to their utmost ability. Innovation slowly pushing out across the map every time he tries. Rail is going to harass him a little bit. Try to pick off some of these Tempests or some of these Liberators if you can. Storm's whiffing a little bit. Couple Zealots go down. That is definitely the death sound if I ever heard one. And yeah, Innovation does manage to sneak up to Rail's attempt at a 6th base. That's going to be a forced cancel for sure. Oh, actually, that's just a dead Nexus. I apologize for giving you the wrong impression. Are we going to base race? Kind of looks like Rail's not interested in really engaging with his army, but too many Liberators. Nova, good hit! Catching several Ghosts there, but losing a few units to the Defender mode too. Free Tempest just now trying to join the army. The rally not really working out for him there. Rail taking a lead. 124 to 115 army supply, making additional Tempests all the time, getting a Warp Prism here too. Innovation sniped off a base. He's greedy. He's hungry. He wants more. I almost feel like at some point, if your opponent has this many Liberators, you just go. You know what I mean? You just go for it, is what you do. We've seen it done since Liberators were a thing against Protoss. We've seen it happen here. Okay, that's a few free Liberators there, and maybe you can finish off this Planetary Fortress if you try, but alright, this southern base instead, why not? Also, you're in a Defender mode circle, because if you hold still for any length of time versus Innovation, you're going to find yourself in a Defender mode circle, but actually, Army kind of caught out of position right now from Innovation. Whoa, losing a bunch of Ghosts, losing a bunch of Medivacs here too. That was huge. That was a huge pick off there. Medivacs getting picked out of the sky from distance by Tempest as well. And now resources lost are even. Rail suddenly up 200 to 166 supply. Tacking on it a little bit. Okay, all right. Don't overextend, man. Don't do crazy things. EMP's chasing you away again. Innovation trying to work his way back up in supply, making 6 Vikings at a time. Maybe over making Vikings a little bit here. No, the Stalker. The Stalker count is suddenly huge. The Liberators are in trouble. Marines and Marauders are trying to finish them off. There are too many Stalkers with too good of upgrades. Immortal joining the party here too. The Liberators are getting picked off. The Vikings have to flee. Orbital Command dies. It's not a base necessarily, just an orbital in the middle of Nowheresville. Stalkers here fighting against these Vikings. Not okay. The Vikings have landed, and they do pretty darn good against Stalkers in that situation, but coming up the ramp, Rail is up 174 to 144 supply. He has a 30 supply lead. 102 to 76 total army supply. Rail, I did not come into this game expecting a Protoss win, but by golly, you are in the driver's seat right now. You're killing SCVs. Your army supply is up by 20 total. I like what I'm seeing here from you, man. More reinforcements coming out all the time. He does manage to take a 6th base. It is just about done. That is hugely, hugely important for him right now. Rail deciding which base do I want to kill. There's a planetary up there you could kick down. Another Tempest dies. How many Tempests have died in this game? It is a total of 28. 28 Tempests have died. I would have guessed like 12, man. That's a huge number. Oh, all these mules, though. All these mules, though. The Nova. Ooh, gosh, that's brutal. That is brutal stuff right there. The repair pretty great, but Storm on all the SCVs. Planetary Fortress does go down. Immortals are not going to mess around here. They are serious business. 22 SCVs die. 72 to 45 workers in favor of Rail. 197 to 158 resources lost. Now 37,000 for Innovation, 35,000 for Rail. He has pulled ahead. Another base going to die. Innovation kind of falling apart now. Rail was the one who was having trouble earlier. But ever since Innovation lost half of his army after getting sort of... Oh, what a hit. What a Nova there after sort of splitting up his army a little bit and losing half of it. He has not been the same. He's been losing bases. He has 34 total SCVs. His bank is not healthy either. 58 minerals. Can't make a lot of stuff. Stalkers coming right underneath the Liberators, trying to focus them down. Zealots in the mix here too. Vikings winning the Battle of the Sky, but too many Stalkers, too little bio here. They're trying to land, but that's it. GG. Rail is your winner in 24 minutes and 3 seconds. Oh, that was that was amazing. I cannot believe Rail won that. I'm not lying to you guys. I don't watch these before I cast them. I didn't see this one live. I didn't pull up the replay before I put it down. I don't have enough time in the day to pull up the replay before casting it, you guys. I know you wish I would. I'd never miss a drop. I know everything that's happening, but this is better practice for casting live StarCraft to do it like this because it's effectively live, right? I don't know the result. I don't know what's going to happen. But those few times that Rail was like, you know what? You have a lot of Liberators, but really not much on the ground. Let me blink in here with my 3/3/3 Stalkers and just take out your Liberators from underneath. And Innovation did not have the requisite army underneath the Liberators to support them. And he just won so many engagements that way. That was impressive from Rail. I really think it started from the early Nexus. He was able to get down. The early harassment from Innovation was nothing. The Phoenix had map control for the first 10 minutes of the game. He expanded a bunch of times. He had a big bank. Sure, he lost some Nexuses. He lost this one. Did he lose any more? He lost 2. I don't know what the other one was. Maybe that base twice. Very possible it was that base twice. I'm just misremembering. But number of bases completed and destroyed here, rather, by Rail. It is 2 planetary fortresses and an orbital command and a command center. This went down. This went down. And yeah, Innovation income was abysmal. Army supply was abysmal. Bank was non-existent. And this composition, it's a good one, man. Stalker, Immortal, High Templar for Storm, Tempests to try to deal with the Liberators as best you can and just try to make good trades is how you do. So overall, 47,000 resources lost for Innovation, 41,900 for Rail, and 53 SCVs killed versus 2 probes destroyed. Only 2. Only 2 killed in this game. Innovation not really on top of his game here, I'd say, but hey man, that's how it works. That's what happens in StarCraft. 31 Tempests died. 37 Liberators. That's a lot of Liberators too. 43 Vikings, 51 Zealots, which seems low, 74 Stalkers, and at 9 High Templar. Hoorah! What a match. What a match for sure. Nope. All right. Well, you know what? That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.